Over the last few years, remakes have become the in thing in the video game industry. It's something other areas of the entertainment industry like Hollywood have long been aware of the value of, and now game developers are cashing in on it too. There are pros and cons to this, of course, as some will claim that this practice amounts to nothing more than rehashing old titles and pushing new ideas out of the marketplace, while others will argue that it's reimagining these games so that a modern audience has a chance to enjoy them too. Now, we're not here to argue for either side today, but what we are here for is to check out the most anticipated remakes coming out this year. So be sure to subscribe and click on that notification bell, because today we're looking at 6 video game remakes coming in 2020. Number 1. Final Fantasy VII. This, in many ways, is the big one. Widely considered to be amongst the best, if not in fact the best Final Fantasy game, fans have been clamoring for this remake for over a decade now. Square Enix seemed hesitant to do it for a long time after an initial attempt at a remake proved to be too difficult due to the increased challenge of developing new hardware and the cutting of content that would inevitably come as a result. The team also wanted to focus on making new entries in the series, but after a PlayStation 3 tech demo dropped at the 2005 Electronic Entertainment Expo, they showcased the game's opening with the company's new Crystal Tools engine, and fan demand once again grew. Square Enix eventually relented, and by 2015, full development had started. Not wanting to just do a basic remaster of the title, the developers have rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up, this time with a new action-based battle system. The graphical upgrades are clear from the game's trailer, and it looks absolutely beautiful.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
Well, seems this old friend of mine's in a tight spot. Long time ago I made a promise, so...
I'm really glad to have you back, Cloud. Really glad.
On top of this, there's also been rumors that there will be some changes to the game's story, though we can't imagine anything drastic being changed, such as the ending. Like the original, this one will be a PlayStation exclusive, though this time the decision has been made to release it in episodic installments rather than all at once. The reasoning Square Enix gave for this was that if they release it as one massive title on modern consoles, it would once again necessitate cuts to the story, something which they refused to shortchange fans by doing. With this new method of rolling the game out, it's been reported that each individual installment will be on the same scale as Final Fantasy XIII, so it should be pretty huge overall. As it stands, the game is due for release on 10th April 2020 on PlayStation 4, though we have to wonder if a secret PlayStation 5 release is also on the horizon. Number 2. Resident Evil 3. If Final Fantasy is the number 1 remake coming this year, then Resident Evil 3 is definitely second, especially how well received last year's Resident Evil 2 remake was. Resident Evil 3 has been one of the most popular entries in the franchise, largely because of the inclusion of Nemesis, the looming tyrant that stalks you throughout the duration of the game. The recent trailer showed a fantastic update of the title with superb graphics and an updated look for many of our favourite characters like Jill Valentine and Carlos Oliveira. Now, we've already done a video on this looking at everything we can expect from the game, which if you can check out later on, but suffice to say, we are very excited.
You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
No, wait! Oh, come on.
We've got to be dreaming.
With the added inclusion of an online multiplayer mode entitled Resident Evil Resistance and talk of a much more intelligent Nemesis this time around, you better not play this one with the lights off. The game is set for release on April 3rd, 2020 for Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and Windows PC. Number 3. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. It was announced that the beloved JRPG Xenoblade Chronicles would be getting remade and remastered sometime in 2020 for Nintendo Switch. The title was originally released for the Wii back in 2010 and follows the story of our hero Shulk as he seeks revenge for the destruction of his home. Shulk himself has gone on to gain even further notoriety in recent years after his inclusion in the Super Smash Bros. Series, and this may be the first time that fans of that series get to play as him on his home turf. Gameplay-wise, it's an action RPG featuring a real-time action-based battle system similar to the more modern Final Fantasy titles.
about?
Not a lot of information has been released for this one as of yet, and other than it being sometime in 2020, we don't have a definitive date set for when we can expect to play it. Nevertheless, we'll keep you updated as more news comes in. Number 4. Panzer Dragoon. The Panzer Dragoon series started on the Sega Saturn all the way back in 1995, which feels like a lifetime ago now. The game was a rail shooter that followed the story of Hunter and Dragon Rider Kiel Flug. It was well received at the time and was followed by 3 sequels, the last of which was released for Xbox in 2002. Well, fans of the series need not wait for a new title no longer, because it has been confirmed that a remake of the original game will be released sometime this year on the Nintendo Switch and Windows PC, with a remake of the second game due to come out at some point in the near future too. For those who have never got a chance to play it first time around, this will be a perfect opportunity to dive into its world of tribal warfare and long-lost weaponry rediscovered once again. Polish publishers Forever Entertainment announced the new game's release by describing it as a refreshed version that will have completely new graphics compatible with today's standards, as well as several gameplay modifications to make it more attractive to modern players while remaining faithful to the original in terms of story. This is definitely one to watch. Number 5. Trails of Mana. Another 1995 classic which is getting remade this year is Trials of Mana, which had previously only been available on Super Nintendo for Japanese audiences. Western gamers first got a chance to play the original when Collection of Mana when Seiken Densetsu 3 was released for Nintendo Switch, complete with the SNES title in June 2019. Apologies for mispronouncing if I did. It was also announced at that time that a full remake would be coming in 2020 for Windows PC, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation 4. While the original played as a top-down action RPG similar to early Final Fantasy games, the upcoming remake will feature a now fully 3D world with updated graphics, an upgraded battle system, new character voices, a remastered soundtrack, and additional conversation interludes. As well as this, the story you get to play out will change depending on which character you select, meaning there should be plenty of replay value on display here. And number 6. House of the Dead. It had been rumoured for some time, but it was finally confirmed in October last year that the classic Sega light gun shooter House of the Dead will be getting remade along with its sequel House of the Dead 2, with release for the first one scheduled for 2020. The fan favourite initially came out in '96 and was a hit amongst arcades as well as home consoles. The remake comes from Forever Entertainment, the same developers who are bringing us the upcoming Panzer Dragoon reimagining, and though no platforms have been confirmed yet, we can expect it to appear on all major ones such as PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. It looks like we're going to get a full graphics upgrade as well as slightly modified gameplay, but what really makes us happy is that the game's original script, which infamously featured some of the best bad voice acting in video game history,
Help! Everyone's getting killed!
Shall all die.
will reportedly be left intact. Get out your light guns for this one because this is going to be a real blast from the past. Pun intended. Now of course there are rumours of other remakes coming this year, such as new versions of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Dino Crisis and Silent Hill, but since these are still only at the rumour stage, we'll leave further discussion of those for another video, if and when they are confirmed. But there you have it guys, 6 video game remakes coming in 2020. Which one are you looking forward to the most? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more video game content.